Actually, I'm going to start so I'm going to start the base now because I'm getting ready to, I'm going to end up doing a wash to start creating like a swampy look, like it's all mucky around the walls. So to save me time, I'm going to work on doing this first too. So we're going to create, the floor is going to be more of a beige color. And then we're going to build up on that with greens and browns to give it the swampy look so it pops more. So I'm using a beige sort of color. It's very light. Believe me, this works out in the end. So like I just took like a drop of water and I mix it off so it's like thins it out a little bit. I don't want it to be solid. This is a way of making it a little translucent. Let's see what we got here. So a little much. A little more water. I got it in the crack, didn't want to do that. You just want to try to thin the paint out enough that it puts color down, but not too totally much. Like you just want it to be powdered over. Yeah, you notice I'm sitting here blotching at it with the brush. That breaks up the color. It doesn't make it solid. So there we go. This one needs a little bit more. There we go. Right. I'm going to leave the sides dark because I like to make those really, really muddy dark when I do this. I can't spell. Hopefully you get the idea. Okay. So now I'm going to create my brown wash. This time I'll use a regular cup so I don't make a mess. So I don't know if you can see that. Yeah, it's pretty good. Better than my black. Alright, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to take this brown and I'm going to put it down deep in the crevices down here. And then pull it up on the walls a little bit. Just like the mud's been splashed up on it. Okay. I just try to pretend that like when the mud splashes, it hits the highest points, but you let it bleed and go everywhere. Okay, so now I'm going to take and sort of do like a camoing with this. I'll take some of this brown and drop it on the ground in some different spots here. Just sort of speckling it everywhere. Yeah, so the brown bleeds into the crack, kind of thing. Okay, so there. Got a little brown everywhere. Just sort of splotchy. So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to make some mossy, nasty green stuff. Another kind of wash, another green wash. It's a nice moss color green. That's good. Now while the brown's still wet, that's why I wish I would have had that made up to start with. I'm going to do the same thing, but I'm going to, wherever there's not brown, I'm going to put green. And let it blend together a little bit. Maybe leave a couple spots with a little bit of that beige sticking out. I feel like the green needs a little black, so I'm going to take some of that black wash that I used and mix it in. While this is all wet, it sort of does like a watercolor thing. And it all blends together. And if you're going to do darker green, definitely near the edges of things. It'll build like a shadowy effect. When this all dries, it'll all come together. It's really nice. Yeah, a little bit of black helped with the green. There, now I got a really nice mossy floor. Maybe just a little bit around the walls. And then a little bit of green. Just like toss some up in some areas in these little nooks. These little nooks. Toss just a little green in there. Don't want to cover up all that blue that we did. So I added a little bit of water to bleed it. And I'm going to come in and just on the wall, pull it away. There you go. Leave some of that green up in there. Hitting it on these edges. Just inside the crevice and then on the edge a little bit. You put enough there that looks like it's sort of messy. And when you come back with the paper towel and you pull it off, leaves just the right amount. So now we'll let that dry. Get a good look at it. Okay, cool. Yeah, you got to let that dry completely before we do any kind of highlights or regular painting. All right, so now it's all dry. You got a nice green swampy floor. The stones are nice, that's good. But we're going to go on, I'm going to touch up them stones a little bit before we highlight, because I want to highlight them as well. So, but all the little stones. So I'm going to use a really small brush. Not go in with tons of paint. I just want them to sort of pop. Nope, too much paint. Don't want to make them super bright. You just want them to stick out just a little bit. It's like a dry brush highlight, very light. I try to keep some of that mossy color up on the big rocks. There's one over here. There we go. Ooh, a little much. When I dry brush an edge, I try not to hit everything, but this time I'm trying to highlight. This time I'm trying to highlight most of the edge just because of the fact that I'm going to come in with white and just touch it in certain spots on these rocks right here. The bigger ones, the little ones, I don't know. A little bit of white on them is going to go a long way. There we go. So hopefully you can see those little rocks. Yeah, that's cool. All right. So, rocks. And now we're going to finish with some highlights. 10 highlights. So in using white, be really careful so you don't just destroy your entire paint job. You want to get most of that off the brush. I'm going to start on the back because I can repair that easily. Okay. I'm usually going to do like the top corners. I pretend that the sunlight comes from here, even though there is none in the cave, just to add that extra effect. But I come down, go all the way across it. Most at the top, stuff at the bottom, just don't go crazy. See, light comes from this way. Just want to hit the very highest points. Nice and mooky. Everything's highlighted pretty good. Pops out really nice. Yeah, that's pretty cool. I'm happy with that. I think that would actually match one of my originals. So put them next to each other and that's pretty good. But I think those would work in the same room together. And that's how I paint my caves. So there you go. Oh, and then now sealing. Okay, so now we're going to put the lacquer on it and try to seal in the finish so that it doesn't get scratched up easily on the piece. So basically, this stuff is pretty dangerous. Please use it outside or in a well-ventilated area. Possibly wear a respirator if you got one. Okay, so it's going to put a sheen on it. Trying to touch it where it really didn't hit it yet. Hitting it low. So it's all shiny, just so you can see that. Yeah, it's got like it's all wet looking. I mean, if that's something you like, cool, but I'd rather all be dry. And I mean, if you want that floor to look wet like that, there is another way to do it after you've sealed it. But this is to seal it to protect the paint. So now we'll let that dry and we'll come back to it and I'll hit it one more time. And then when I'll come in with this and we'll make it, put the dull finish back on it again. Alright, so it's completely dry. It's got 2 coats on it. Very shiny. So I want to kill that shine. Alright. Now we're going to use a dulling spray by Krylon. Now you stay far away from it, like at least 12 inches, and just lightly hit it like that. Light dusting. You can almost see it change. If you put it on wet, then it's going to stay looking wet in areas. If you put it on as a light dusting, it'll kill the shine. I already did it. It's pretty much gone. Yeah. That was just a light dusting. There's a little sheen left, but that's no big deal. It's like you want to use the mist that's coming out of the can to hit it. And that's what kills the sheen. So this is some pretty good stuff. It's a gloss varnish. It's like, what do they call that? Non-toxic. And it's basically a clear stuff. I'm not going to use it on this because it won't match the pieces that I have currently. But it comes out, it's like just a white liquid. But when that dries, it will stay super, super shiny. So if you want something to look wet, you could put that all over the floor piece and it would stay permanently wet looking. So this is it's pretty good stuff. They sell it in this and they sell it in Ceramicoat is the other company that I know of. This is usually a little cheaper. It's good stuff to make things look wet. So there you go. That's a fully sealed piece. It's almost dry. Yeah, it's dry to the touch already. Yep, from the dulling spray. So there you go. And let that dry for another day and then you're ready to play. Have fun. So here's the list of the colors and in the order that I used them while doing the paint job for this little piece here.